What is up out there in the world? So, if you take a look at the screen there, I have a little funny ha-ha for you. Thinking about making a new comic. See, the picture there is Miss Kim Corruptible, the CEO of Trulieve, which I'm sure some people knew this prior to now, but the gentleman in the picture there, I like to make some wording for this picture here. See, Kim's said, no, it's okay, yeah. He says, are you sure? 3 years, that seems like some time to me. And then Miss Kim Corruptible. We're going to call this The Adventures of Kim Corruptible and Mackie Bark's Daddy's Money. Yes, The Misadventures of Kim Corruptible and... Wait, what did I call it? Kim Corruptible and the Misadventures of Mackie Bark's Daddy's Money. Yes. In Cannabis Alicia. That's what I called it. No, in Canalicia. Yes. Okay, so now I can turn my camera on. So yes, the name of the funny comic is Kim Corruptible and the Misadventures of Mackie Bark's Daddy's Money. What's crazy is I was looking into the story behind the corruption, and how in the fuck are they in 6 states? How in the fuck are they in Maryland? The corruption cases from fucking Florida, where they got in trouble. Yeah, I got Trump hair this evening. Where they got in trouble for abandoning employees without severance pay, allegedly. That's crazy. But hey, I said it when my buddy sent me the link to his little podcast, a year ago now, year and a half ago, when I showed you guys that Mackie Bark was blatantly saying, if you don't pay the state money, you don't get to play. Now, apparently, it's a very fine line that you have to walk as so far as to, my tooth will be fixed. Watch my viewership go up when my tooth is fixed. Watch it. I guarantee you, because I'm very expressive with my words and things, that when my tooth gets fixed, I know it will, because I had better viewership before it broke. It's just very silly people are like that. Anyway, yeah. So, Kim Corruptible and the Misadventures of Mackie Bark's Daddy's Money. Anyway, here's some pot plants that are growing for you that aren't grown by corrupt cannabis elite officials. And they love it to be when they're called cannabis elite. I mean, it makes them all wet inside. I mean, it makes them all warm inside. They love to be called the cannabis elite. It's probably the coolest name Mackie's ever had, like the coolest nickname he's ever had. All right, yes, I pick on Mackie Bark a lot because he came out at fucking swinging at entrepreneurs. If you knew how to run a business, you would have a business. Look at my business. And then come to find out, as I suspected, daddy's money. Like worse than Trump's daddy's money type thing. Like. And by the way, I used to hate Trump. Like when he was in office, okay, I don't know how most millennials, when Trump was in office, that was a fucking shock to our system. We were used to seeing, like, the most we had seen was talk about a blowjob in the White House and, like, you know what I mean, Bill Clinton. But the way Trump ran things, it just wasn't expected. But then you look at it after the fact and what has happened since, and by far and large, see what I think with the economy, I honestly believe Biden is intentionally running the economy into the fucking ground, running the stock market into the fucking ground. And he's doing so to try to say, look what Trump did. You those stimulus checks that you guys wanted. However, I believe 100% wholeheartedly that if Trump would have stayed in office for that next term, that he had some sort of fucking Trumpian business plan to leverage the debt of somebody and put it against the stock markets. I don't do his fucking Trump shit and make sure that the stock market did not crash to the extent that it did now. And he told us that it was going to fall because of it. Like, we knew that. I think he's the person that should have been in there. And I wouldn't honestly put it past Trump to have set it up so that if he's not in there, the individual after him isn't going to figure out how exactly to make that happen. Because the government had never actually bought stocks, not to my knowledge, the way Trump was doing when he was in office. Like, he made the stock market fucking rally big time, several times. Like, if you would have invested, like, I should have just put my money in that one stock he was fucking pumping, because he pumped it from like 0 to like 1,000 or some shit, and like it just steadily climbed the whole time. Anyway, I'm not a CPA, so I'm not going to talk about all that crazy shit. But even though I just did, how do we flip the camera so I can show you my pot plants? Because I need to get stoned. All right, there's the Empire Strikes Back. She lifted up a good bit. You can see that bottom leaf isn't all drooping over like it was. Starting to stand back up. Top's looking, she's starting to fill out nicely. Yeah, there's a little tiny boy, girl, or boy. I won't be mad if it's a boy. Hopefully it's a girl, but I'll take some pollen from an Afghani. Afghani, 1985 Afghani. Been growing in Western Maryland since 1985. Don't give a shit if you believe me or not. No reason not to believe the person who hooked me up. Pre-feminization. And then the G13 BSE, blowing up very nicely. Yep. And there you are. And the tops of the ESM here, if you want to know the leaves look so funny, it's because they're, you cut the leaves off about 2/3 of the way up from the bottom. If you go to the center where they come together and go 2/3 of the way up before the leaf actually opens up and it's just there and it's like pointy little points in the center, you go about 1/3 of the way down and snippy poo. Actually, the best technique to use is to find the center line that runs across the two leaves perpendicular to the spot you want to fem. Run a straight line. It has to be the right size to, you're supposed to be at the femming time to cut the fem. But it gets to a certain point where the fem line runs right across that horizontal line that goes across your two perpendicular leaves, perpendicular and prior to the node that you're attempting to fem. Yeah, you just draw that little line across there and clip. Essentially just sit your scissors even with the leaves right there. And as long as you're not too far down, snip it. Of course, again, you have to wait for the center to be the right height. You want to get it just before it opens up into leaves. You don't want to wait for it too long for it to actually start opening. You want everything to still kind of be together. You might have to just bundle them a little bit to give it a... So, did a good job saving that Afghani that I way over watered. And I've been being way more careful with the water now. What I did instead, I was just using way too much water, trying to add fucking nutrients after nutrients after nutrients. So, do the logical thing and up the nutrients and less water. My thing was there, I didn't want to burn it. So what I've done there is up the nutrients and less water and then dilute said water and then give it to it over time. And hopefully that makes up for my whatever. All right. Got some Gandhari Kush here. And this stuff, I will warn you, if you're a smoker of cannabis, can't find a strain that gets you really super stoned and like never dissatisfies, always pleases, always gets you where you're trying to be, significant painkiller. Most Kush is reasonable with pain, but this Gandhari Kush is just abso-fucking-lutely rank. Like, the rankiest indica you can imagine the smell of. Almost that kind of rank where it makes you want to like curl your nose and turn away. It's very, very, very rank. When I say rank, that is very much so an indica term. It might sound sort of sativa in terpological context, but rank, rancid, rotten, that's, take GMO, that sort of rotten smell you get with it. I'm sorry about my hair. I just washed my hair. See, people bitch about my hair and they'll come on here and be like, wash your hair, when I'm a day after having not washed it. Like tomorrow evening, my hair will be at the point where people will be saying, you need to wash your hair, wash your hair. But when I don't, like if I wash my hair every day, yes, obviously you can see the color of it much better. It's like an orangish brown color, but it also turns into fucking Donald Trump's comedic front head. Until it grows out long enough. Once it grows out, I can stop wearing the Hitler hair and actually pull it back. No, I was one of the first motherfuckers, at least in my school, in my area where I grew up at, to undercut my hair. They thought it was hilarious when I did it when I was in school. I did it in middle school. Just was in the bathroom one day and I was like, huh, this looks kind of cool. I was always doing crazy shit with my hair in school though. At one point in elementary school, I had my whole head shaved and I had one little patch of hair right here that come across my face. Weird shit. But yeah, they called me Samurai Steve for a long time because my hair was long and I undercut it and I would always pull it back in a ponytail and my ponytail wasn't real long. So it just kind of like poked out the back and everybody called me Samurai Steve. Not everybody. A couple of my friends. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to moving from this place where I live at. I mean, I like living here. I like the place. But the people that are here, it's just always one thing after another. If it's not somebody doing drugs or doing whatever comes with drugs, like beating women and ripping people off and causing fucking fights and pulling guns and stupid shit like that. If it's not that, it's old people running their mouth and trying to start shit or trying to play fucking private eye and not knowing what the fuck they're even talking about. I have a neighbor here who takes her time to literally, she feeds the cat, she plays with the cat, so do the two downstairs neighbors, feed them and plays with them. Yet my neighbor felt that she, for some reason, had the right to take a picture after my girlfriend had set a plate of food out for the cats. All of them feed the cats. They all talk to each other about it. But then she also does stuff like brings the cats in her house, and then whenever somebody starts paying attention or somebody's near, she'll start screaming at the top of her lungs, acting like the cat came in her house on accident. Just all of that kind of shit. It just fucking. For example, my dog, I keep him on a harness right by my side. I don't keep him on a leash because I get sick of people with 30-foot fucking leashes letting their dog run 30 feet out and they can't control it. I don't know why somebody thinks you can control the dog better on a fucking leash. Granted, I can control him better when he's in my hand. I do let go of him sometimes, and unfortunately, the day before yesterday, it wasn't even the person whose dog was involved though, because like I got mad. I thought that that person went to the landlord and was, because nothing happened. Like, and the last time it happened, it was that person's, like, not fault, but it definitely wasn't my doing that time. Her dog done exactly what my dog did this time, the last time. But one of the fucking people there, like, nobody was scared. Nobody was nothing. It was two dogs talking to each other. They didn't bite. They didn't aggress. They didn't. I honestly think if we could get that dog and my dog out in the field, they would play together just fine. Like, people are just afraid of how dogs play. Jesus Christ, don't ever get an American around a human, like a tiger or a lion. They'll be crying. They'll crawl into the fucking fetal position and start crying because they're hurting the animal. Anyway. And my dog's very vocal, very mouthy. He's an American boxer. So he didn't even make a noise until I ran up and barked at him and told him to back off. And he was in her face like that, like sniffing each other's face. And as soon as I barked, he backed up. Like, his recall is better than any dog that's in here on a leash. I promise. But I know the leash law and all that. I'm not bitching and saying that I shouldn't. What I'm bitching about is it wasn't even the person that it happened with that got me written up. Like, it's just some stupid fucking people running their fucking mouth. And I know who it was. And it's somebody who tries to play both sides of the card, tries to be nice to you one day and then talks behind your back as soon as you turn I get tired of that shit. So I don't know. I'm definitely considering my options about selling my car and doing what I need to do. I mean, people's fucked with my car while it's been here. People fucking loosened my lug nuts up. Luckily, I'm a car person, so I knew my lug nuts were loose and I got down there and tightened them back up. But, like, who the fuck does that? And the cameras didn't catch them. I mean, sure, the cameras caught Chops aggressing on that dog somehow, hidden behind all the vehicles, but they never caught whoever loosened up my fucking lug nuts. Camera never seen me throw a $20 bill at a man who was trespassing on the property. You know what I mean? Seems like the cameras benefit the only time they benefit you is if you feel like getting somebody in trouble. Like, if you actually have a crime that happened or something occurred and you need video footage of something, it's doubtful that you'll receive it. I'm hoping my neighbor got video footage of whoever stole his four-wheelers. That's a whole other situation. And then when I say about people playing private eye, this is what this old man did. He told me that the U-Haul pulled in at the end of the parking lot down there. Well, the U-Haul really pulled in, according to everybody else, up here at the woods, and they ran the four-wheelers down the hill. Well, when he first told me about it, I pointed to the hillside, and I said, well, the hill's right there. I mean, you just drift them down the fucking hill. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait. I said, no, you said they parked over there. So they could drift them down the hill, but once they get to the parking lot, hell, once they get to that thick rock gravel right there, they're going to stop. Like, they'd have to start it and drive it over. And he told me that they parked at the other end of the lot because he was trying to play private eye. And I felt it. Like, I felt the energy. I felt it. And I told my neighbor when he came down, before he even talked to him, I was like, dude, that's stupid. Why, like, don't have old man scapegoat me on that shit. Where the fuck what would I even do? I live in a fucking 1-bedroom subsidized house apartment. You know what I mean? Where the fuck am I going to put 4 3-wheelers? And the unfortunate thing was, like, I'm glad that my neighbor likes me and trusts me and he's not like a fucking big douchebag cocksucker. Because, like, I've always admired those bikes when I go up there. Like, he has a lot of 4-wheelers and dirt bikes, and when I was younger, I loved fucking riding. Like, I ripped and fucking tore shit up. And it's their bikes, so I've never asked them to go riding much on them. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm up there admiring them, and then just some fucking idiot doesn't have anything else to do with his time, wants to play private eye. So, yeah. But it's good that my neighbor, I hope, doesn't think it was me. I think they figured out what was wrong or something. But it sucks for me that person who scapegoated me, or who wanted to scapegoat that on me, or make me the scapegoat for it. Not my neighbor, not the one that it happened to, but the person who thought that they were telling me it was parked down there, but it was really up here, so they could see if I said anything about the hill over here. Because when the neighbor came down, the old man says, he stands up and starts, he kept trying to walk away from me. We were over here and he walked across over here, and there was nobody there. He just walked over by himself. So I walked over there, followed him, and then he stands up and walks over further, like intentionally trying to get away from me. And he sent the energy. He's like, and then he said, well, I'm going to talk to Jack in private over here about that. I don't want to insinuate anything. What? Like I didn't even let on to him that I was aware of what was happening. What? I can read people very well, but you know what I mean? So I said something to him before he even walked over to talk to him. That's dumb. You don't scapegoat me for some shit like that, man. And I don't talk to people. I don't talk to anybody. Anybody. One person I've spoken to in the past 8 months that's outside of the normal 5 or 6 that I talk to on a daily basis. One. So if you're out there, you know who you are. Yeah, that's how fucking hermit I am. I don't talk to people. Even when I go to work, I don't fucking talk to people. People equal trouble. People equal trouble. And yes, sometimes that's because it's the person who's, and it's that person's fault. But nice people get taken advantage of a lot. And because of the way I was brought up and the way I grew up, and it wasn't good. But when you're abused, you either turn out like the abuser and you want to hurt people, or you understand the hurt and you don't want anybody to feel that ever, which is also not a good thing, because then you get taken advantage of a lot. Something like people, a bit more deep. So, and then it doesn't really help that I have a very abrasive appearance. At least I've been told, I've been led to believe throughout my life that for some reason my appearance is abrasive or hard in some way, that I have a hardened look, appearance that deserves looks from police officers, or deserves look. And I can say, since I moved down here to a larger area, I don't feel that way. I don't walk into Sheetz and the cops are in there and they immediately turn around and stare me down as I walk through the store. But I said last night, the one doctor, Mary Jo Cannon, I don't mind mentioning her name because she's a very good doctor, very good cannabis doctor and addictions doctor. But she even said when she had experiences in Garrett County, those police are 100% out to harass people. Like I had to learn at one point, like you literally have to learn to do the things that people don't do anymore. Like when your tail light goes out, okay, so your tail light goes out. Most kids today, most people today aren't going to realize that when your blinker is going click, 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 and not just the regular short clicks, you've got a light out in front or the back. So you roll your window down and you use this to turn left, this to stop, and this to turn right. And I had a cop behind me trying to pull me over one time. Like he was looking for something to pull me over for, and I had to put my window down and use my hand to stop and put my hand out to turn, and he went right past me. Like he looked and watched and made sure I did everything, but like, yeah. And you have to leave your hand out the entire way through the turn, and don't pull your hand back in until your wheels are straightened back up on the lane that you're moving into. Yes, they really are like that. They'll sit outside of the gas stations, and because people tend to not come to a complete stop when exiting a parking lot, because people just tend to do that, even if there's a stop sign there. And if there is one there, then you get in trouble for running the stop sign that is there, not just leaving a parking lot without stopping. Yeah. Which is why I'm very, very, very much so against the whole fucking idea of the disproportionate effect of cannabis prohibition, and that it is So much so that it is necessary to ascribe 63% of cannabis licensing for entrepreneurs to Baltimore City and the area surrounding it, which is the highest violent crime area in the state of Maryland. Right next door to Charles County, you have a crime rate of 1 to every 1,000 and a black population of 55%. So tell me again that it's not crime related and that it's race driven. And also remember that the market came out with a 10% black investment, 75% of that in one company, and 75% of the market, that's 85% total, 10% black, 75% white, owned men. So I guess you had the other 25% that was there for 15%, 25%, 25% that was there for women and minorities and the rest. But given the race-based equity push, you would have thought that the market wouldn't have ended up looking just like a traditional marketplace rollout, according to a population where, I mean, not in Maryland and in total, I'm not sure what the population of black people in Maryland is on the whole, but in the nation, 13%. So, yeah, I mean, that's what happened. It turned out looking more like that normal statistic of there's about 13% black people. So if you ended up with 10% black investment, a lot of that in one company, and 75% of it being owned by rich white people, that just seems like the normal fucking marketplace that takes place everywhere else. Yet we were told they pushed for social equity. They pushed for social equity points to be assigned, yet again, those social equity points that were assigned, we found out delegates were charged and convicted of the charges for receiving bribe money to give people social equity points, company social equity points that should not have been ascribed social equity points. Social equity points being like, how many minorities do you have working for you? Do you have a disability person working for you? Do you have a paraplegic South Pacific he-boy working in the back? Like, that kind of shit. DEI initiatives taken to the extreme. And I believe in equitable market and everybody having a free chance and everybody being able to participate. But they're not even allowing that. Like they're saying that it's social equity just to get people to shut up and doing a few things here and there to make it look like things are happening. For example, saying they're going to use money to help people with, of course, grants and loans from the money that they're grants and loans from these millions and millions and millions of dollars. $9 million alone was made off. $9 million was made off of entry fees to the entrepreneurial market lottery just recently, just for entry fees. 200 of those people didn't even get to keep that money, didn't even get to participate because they didn't meet all the requirements, but they still had to pay those fees. 1,000 for micro, 5,000 for a full license. Totaled out to over $9 million just for the entry fees. Then you had the $50,000 full licenses and the $1,000 micro licenses, of which there were 86 in total. And I think it was like 36 and something else was the split. 36 micro and 50 some full, something like that. So 50 times 50,000, there's a number to stack on top of the 9 million made just off of the supposedly disproportionately affected individuals. Now, when they say it as disproportionately affected individual cannabis prohibition, what disproportionately affected individual that is disproportionately affected by cannabis prohibition, do you know that has the credit line or the money that's able to drop $50,000 on a license, on a piece of fucking paper that has a 5-year moratorium on it, that's all outlined by people who want to see you fail? Being outlined by the industry. Again, through the legal side of the bribery, aka lobbying. It's wild. It's wild how that shit works, man. I never, like, just the extent of it, the extent of it, the shit that goes on, and it doesn't get talked about. People don't mention it. I mean, it's almost a joke to call it a legalized market in a way, because like There's a lot of illegal shit happening on this legalized market. And I go back to the same thing I always do. Why in the fuck can the state, the man, the government not actually pursue real medical cannabis applications? Real ones. And they're like, yeah, we can say like, oh, we have to get it reassigned to Schedule 3. That's been them dicking around doing that this entire time so that they can continue arresting people, okay? That's why the DEA and FDA are so fucking closely linked, so that the DEA, the FDA, that continue arresting people, okay? That's why the DEA wasn't so big on categorizing into Schedule 3. But they know now that they have to kick in business doors, and it wasn't that easy when they went over to California and tried to, they did it, but it was a little bit more than just knocking in the front door of somebody's apartment building or something, you know. So, and did it there because money was just sitting in the fucking places, and they imagine the money the DEA took out of California from the fucking cannabis business. But now that mention the all that shit, the White House now has to approve the rescheduling of cannabis. Some kind of White House commission. Not sure if Biden or other people, I have no idea, but has to be approved now by the White House before it can actually go through. And it actually will make a big difference. As in particular, it'll make a difference in the research of cannabis, marijuana, and the ability to do so. Although I'm sure the FDA and the NIH and all of those fucking regulatory commissions will have their hand in regulating the researchers' acquire attainment of it. Like, that's what has been the issue with cannabis research for the past fucking forever, is that nobody can get their hands on the cannabis they want to study in a way that can be put forth as peer-reviewed research and actually be accepted as evidence of therapeutic existence. Yes, GW Pharmaceuticals. Yes, overseas. And I know people out there probably think that when I talk about it. Again, specifically U.S. market, specifically because of the extent to which illegality was propagandized around cannabis, the extent to which cannabis was pushed into the harder end of the illicit market. All of that played a very big role in the type of cannabis that came out of the production there. Now, as I've said before, that is beginning to change because of the fact that people aren't only growing cannabis under the pressure of ducking and dodging everybody around them in the law. People are actually able to grow cannabis and really focus on just the cannabis and not have to worry about being caught for doing it, which makes a big difference in whether you, okay, say you might want to grow a cannabis that's more terpene oriented, but it takes more energy, and that's going to spike your electric bill, and you live in an illegal state, and an electric bill spike is going to draw attention. So, or whatever the situation may be, something like that, right? On the legal market, you don't have those concerns. You just crank the fucking lights up or do whatever it needs, and it happens. Also, illicit market, people are very much geared towards skunky and immediate satisfaction. And that is another big part of the whole explicitly US market thing, is the instant gratification factor of the American public. They don't want to smell something that is slightly earthy. They want something that smells absolutely fucking skunky. If it smells anything at all like indica, it better be rank and rancid. And it better be the highest THC you can find on that fucking shelf. And I'm not a THC hater by any means. THC is most definitely important in the buzz. For sure. It's what makes the buzz. It is the buzz. But insofar as therapeutic from a medicinal application, now obviously I can't speak as to what it's doing in the brain, like, oh, it's not causing seizure, blah, 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 or whatever, but pain and irritation, anger, emotional issues. Yes, THC, good for immediate relief of that. You got really bad back pain, something like that. However, that said, you can increase the effectiveness of the THC's pain-killing benefit, for example, with beta-caryophyllene being included in there, which typically is indica. But you can find sativas with beta-caryophyllene. Pineapple upside down cake, blue dream. Yes. Anyways, let's have a dab, shall we? I want one. This is, oh, and by the way, I said grape diamonds. Kind of a little bit of clickbait for you. These are grape diamonds sugar. So the strain is grape diamonds, but it's grape diamonds live sugar. Maybe this might not be live sugar. It doesn't really look like it's live. Let me look at my box. I think it's just sugar, cured sugar. I'm just going to cold start and one of my slurpers with a broken bottom on the dish. The broken dish part where you usually put the dab in is broken off. But the glass in the middle on the valve, it's still there. So, yeah. See? You just can't throw your heat too hard right there whenever you got a dab in there. I usually rub it on the sides, but it'll catch on fire pretty easily. All right. Oops. I didn't get a valve in there, did I? Oh, got one right here. That's got hair on it. Not putting that in my mouth. I don't mind sticking them in my mouth. It's just dabs on them. They just sit here and collect cat hair, if anything. I don't have enough baby wipes to be wasting them just to wipe the pearls. By the way, if you didn't look at my baby wipe hack, stop using alcohol to clean your bangers. Dead fucking serious. 110%. I want to do an article on it. I want to talk to some glass people and see if it affects the bangers at all, or the glass, or fucks with it at all. Because it is like a lotion, the reason it works. But it works fucking hella way good. Especially Chaz, getting Chaz out of a banger. It's like magic wipes. Got like a, yeah, I got a grape on that. Yeah. I got a hollow grape. I like sort of like that swimming pool hole is what it got me at first. But then that intensified and it like was like a stale grape. Yeah. I don't know that I would have been able to find that word to describe it, but yeah, it is on point for sure. That was different. Holy fuck. My window open, yes. Oh my god. I don't know where that rankness just came from out of that hit. I took the hit at first and it tasted like it was gonna be like, that's why I hit it a little hotter like that. So I've been smoking a lot of those transcariophylline fucking pool hall strains. But then the pool hall disappeared and it turned rancid. Wow. That's okay. I just was not expecting that body hit. And it hit me in the eyes real fucking hard. There's gotta be a lot of beta mercy in there or something. It's gotta be beta mercy. My eyes were like all fuckered up. Yeah, 2.06%. Dominant beta mercy. Okay, well that explains why fucking my eyes were. Wow. That feels like more than 2% beta myrcene. That feels like fucking 10% beta myrcene. And I've had 10% beta myrcene, and it made me do that. That is strong. I don't know who didn't buy that, or why they didn't buy it, or why it was on sale, but I'm glad I bought it. Why the fuck wouldn't anybody buy that? Probably because they thought it was a diamond. People don't pay attention. People don't pay attention. Because I thought it was a diamond too. And I was like, they're not selling diamonds for $30. And I looked at it and I was like, no, it's grape diamonds strain. Grape diamonds live sugar. Not made out of diamonds. It's just grape diamonds strain. Got a very GMO-y. Like I did not expect that GMO rank to come into play there. It snuck up out of nowhere. I want to see what the genetics are on that. Because I hella got that. This was a clean banger, so there was nothing else there. It was just grape diamonds. And low temp, I got, is it trans or is it beta? It's beta caryophyllene. But low temp, I got like that weird fucking pool hall. It was slightly different, but it was like that pool hall smell. Like a swimming pool hall indoors. But then out of nowhere, it got like the GMO rank. And it's fruity, but it's just very, very heavy fruity. Not like terpenoline fruity, but like limonene fruity. With sweet notes. Almost like cereal. It's almost got like a cereal smell. If you set aside the rank notes. Very interesting. I wonder if that's more of an indica leaning limonene presentation. Because I don't get like the sliced open lemon. Like I can't get that in my nose. I can get like what's those one citrus things that are kind of bitter? One of those, like that smell, or like orangey, a little more bitter, but not bitter. But I guess however bitter smells. Yeah, like that. That's what I mean. The people that name that shit that are able to pinpoint the like grape diamonds that taste like grape. Like, I would have not been able to smoke that and then said that tastes like grape, because I would have been too focused on the fact that the hit I got after was fucking rank raw. Anyways, I am going to take another dab. I know I've been on here for a minute, but that's okay. I'll come back here after I take this dab. Punish me, why don't you? Just fucking punish me. Actually, it's a good time to show you how fast this works. It's a good example. Watch this shit. Regular old baby wipe, right? Green, Frog, little Dollar General, whatever they are, wherever they're from. One of the dollar stores, probably. Cheap baby wipes. Just gentle steps, fragrance-free wipes. Alcohol-free, hypoallergenic, dermatologically tested, blah, 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 right? Watch this shit. How chazzed up that banger is. If you can't really tell, you'll be able to see when it's finished. See that big black mark on the back of it? Brown mark. All right. Rip us a piece of this off. You can use the whole thing if you want, but it's just easier to work with if you rip a couple little pieces off. Something like that. Something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna rip that one more time. And make sure they stay moist. Don't let them get dry while you're doing that. All right. I need a holder. Good banger. Rig. My rig. All right. Got my lighter chain on so I don't drop my fucking lighter tonight, man. Heat the rig up, or heat the banger up slightly. Doesn't need to be super hot. This thing's still got hella dab left in it. Oh, sorry. Wipe that out. Set this down. Got a tool with a straight, and then I've got one of my koala claws. 45 with a little 90 on the tip of it. Works to get down under the slurper valve if you need to, with some of them. Use the hook down in there to put pressure. You don't have to use much elbow grease at all. Fucking surprised. Put the hook down in there, a little bit of pressure. Flip it around. Now, if you're a glass person and you know that this is absolutely for sure 100% really fucking bad for the glass, leave a comment and let me know, because I'm not a fucking glass blower. I'm not like a glass conditioner. And I know this is lotion, so I don't know. But I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck's in this stuff. I'd be one happy baby if I had a dirty bum with these things, because that one little piece, right, see that one little black spot that's left there on it? The camera will pick it up. There's one black spot there on the back. Drip, 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 drip. It's gone. That was a black char, and they work great, awesome for getting like in here cleaned out real nice, so it doesn't get all hairy and dirty and fucking whatever, dog hair, cat hair. That one cleaned it. You just take a little piece, stick in there, and you get the excess. You can get the cracks if you want to get super duper clean about it. Like if you're trying to take an up close video or something, you don't want anything at all. You want to get all the refractions where they're supposed to be at and all that good stuff. That point right there, and the koala claw is also good for that. You'll get where these come together in that crack right there so that you can get it cleaned out. Take your tool, get the point at an angle, get this doubled up underneath of it, and I'll show you how clean it gets it. Actually, get it thick up underneath there, then get below the line and pull towards it the line till you fall down into the crevice, and use the tool and the rag to clean that out. Be careful not to press real super fucking hard because you will break, can break. I've broken a couple bangers while cleaning them. I just broke one recently, putting too much pressure on it. It was the way I was holding it more than it was putting too much pressure on it. All right. Like I said, if you're a glass blower or some shit and you know that shit's bad, let me know because I have no idea. Oh my god, I can't see that. There it is. Okay, there's nothing there anyway. That's all right. So, if anybody ever wonders or questions why I post these under how to, I'm not sure where they get posted to now because I'm using some other weird part of the studio I've never used before. Like they've changed things or something. I'm not sure if they changed things or my platform updated somehow and changed. What exactly happened? I'm just being finicky about getting this little bit of char from the spot where I heated up behind the pearl. See that black spot right there on it? That's the tip, the point, getting in that crevice. Cleaning that. You get a whole bunch of that shit out of there. You make it shine. But, it's clean. And obviously you heat it up, so if you want, you can wipe it out with a paper towel or something like that after that. But like I said, you heat it up. Actually, I'm lying. I usually wipe it out with my shirt afterwards. I guess it is weird to just think about heating it up in there and it. I don't know if it even leaves any residue. But if you do know that, let me know. If you know that I'm just giving myself fucking immediate, definite lung cancer here, that would be lovely to know. If there's any FDA person out there watching this, I'm always tagging you by mentioning you in the algorithm. Yeah, let me know about that. Anyway, I'm just joking. Kind of. They're always fucking crazy ass recalls and shit. Little marble just fell. Let's see how good it cleaned. Got the pill pearl clean nice too. I don't know how it does that with no fucking alcohol. Like, what the hell is in the baby wipe that makes it clean off cannabis concentrate? That makes it as soluble as alcohol. It's just weird. I think it is. I think that is bizarre. This is Straw Nana. It is a lovely, lovely, lovely scented beauty. I like this shit a lot. This stuff here has a very potent fucking smell to it. And potent in a very beautiful strawberry It's like strawberry champagne. That's a good way to describe that shit. It's like a real sweet strawberry champagne. If you get the chance to try straw nana, especially this batch from Nature's Heritage, this is some live sugar. I got this at the apothecarium, but it's so hard to fucking stay. Get off the tool, you sugary bitch. Broken slurpers and sugar. They're a little finicky to work with. I need to get a better setup too, so you guys can actually people can see what the fuck I'm doing here. Doesn't look like I'm just sitting here finicky and look like I'm doing something. Who fucking knows what down there? Move it back so I can get my table back in front of me so you can see what the frick is going on here. You can definitely break down the smell, but you just smell it. It smells like strawberry champagne. It's the best way I can describe it. I don't really think it's anything close to like pink lemonade. Pink lemonade is maybe a hint of sort of like pink lemonade. There's like that aspect is present, but it's not that. Pink lemonade was the first super exotic weed that I had. I had juicy fruit off the street one time, and it blew my fucking mind because I'd never had weed that tasted like gum. Because terpinolene dominance, I assume, I don't know, it tasted like fucking juicy fruit. So I think it tastes like terpinolene tastes like juicy fruit, like a berry jello-y taste. The way it smells too. The way that smells, it's got a very soft hit. At least that one was. Very smooth. Super duper smooth. No cough, no choke, no kick, no burn. Little tiny itty bitty wannabe nip as you exhale. Even low temp. A little bit on the throat as you exhale at the end. Very, very smooth. Super smooth. Probably one of the smoothest weeds I've smoked. And that was a hot one. I know all the dabs up on the fucking valve now. I gotta get that damn thing hot. That's getting stronger. Might be a little bit of a creeper. All right. I hope everybody has a just lovely, wonderful time of whatever day it is you are having right now. And I hope my plants do well. I put about every nutrient and thing I can. Got worm castings, cocoa coir, that mycorrhizal bacteria shit that's in there in the soil. I even seen worms in one of the fucking buckets, and I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. Somebody had something about living soil or some shit. I don't know. I grow plants all the time. I always see worms in my soil. I think that was like that big of a fucking deal, honestly, for real. But I don't know. I don't use Miracle Grow and shit either. So anyway, I don't know. Take it easy, people. How do I end this here? Oh, and let's see. And there it is.